It is now 6:30, and we will begin the public hearing of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. We do have two ordinances tonight that can be discussed. The first one being Ordinance 2013-01, an ordinance to amend the 2012-2013 fiscal year general fund budget for the vehicle lease payment and purchase of the SCBA equipment. And number two will be Ordinance 2013-02, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 6J, Group E, parcels 81 and 82, located at 509 Lake Forest Drive, consisting of 1.04 acres, from an R2S medium density residential, which is grandfathered, zoning district to an AC3 neighborhood service zoning district. I will now turn this public hearing over to Bruce Richardson.
Thank you, Mayor. As the Mayor pointed out, there's two items on the agenda tonight. The public notice was in the Daily News Journal on Friday, January the 11th, 2013. And we'll go ahead and open this up to anyone who would like to speak. First of all, Ordinance 2013-01, an ordinance to amend the 2012-2013 fiscal year general fund budget for the vehicle lease payment and purchase of SCBA equipment. If anybody would like to speak on that ordinance, I'd invite you to step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and make your comments. So if anybody would like to speak at this time, please do so. Once again, this is the public hearing for 2013-01. If anybody would like to speak. Seeing no one come forward, I'll declare the public hearing for this item closed. We'll move on to the second item on the agenda, which is Ordinance 2013-02, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance by changing tax map 6J, Group E, parcels 81 and 82, which is located at 509 Lake Forest Drive, consisting of 1.04 acres. If anybody here would like to speak on this item, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and make your comments, please. Sir, if you'll state your name and address.
Name's Tommy Opencar, 507 Lake Forest Drive, Laverne, Tennessee. I guess you guys know the zip code. So my concerns are I live next door to 509. I live at 507, and my concern is my first concern is the amount of traffic, the excess amount of traffic that will be on that road with the changing of the zoning. I've read through the zoning ordinances, and it concerns me about having a convenience store located right there at that end, the end of the street. I'm not too concerned about the lot that's fronting Stones River Road. I'm more concerned about the house directly next to my house, where you're going to have a lot of traffic, additional traffic, and it doesn't really specify that they can't change it into a convenience store. I know it says it can't be a liquor store or a packaging store, but I do believe, I guess, if it's a convenience store, they can still sell beer. I have nothing against that problem. It's just the amount of additional traffic. And what happened over on Dick Buchanan, where I know that whole area is all kind of zone goofy. You know, some of the houses over there, I went by and I've been living here for a while, so I drove through there and it's definitely not the most organized area, where they've changed some of the houses and some of the other buildings. And I just fear that that's going to happen next door to my house. So I don't know what I need to do or who I need to talk to or get a petition with the surrounding neighbors. I just wanted to voice my negative opinion about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this item, Ordinance 2013-02? Yes, ma'am. If you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Barbara Neal, and I live at 345 Waldron Road, but I'm here representing the Real Estate Center at 5138 Murfreesboro Road and Amnon Schreibman. And I just wanted to reiterate, as we have before, that this address at 509 has operated for the last 10 years as a daycare center. It is rated by the state of Tennessee for up to 50 children, and in the past has had between 20 and 30. It's never been to capacity. But in order to come back into compliance with city ordinance, which currently only allows 12 children there, this rezoning to neighborhood service commercial is what we need. We currently have it, that area rented out to a daycare, but at this time she's restricted to only 12 children. She let half of her children go in order to take this property because she'd already given her notice at the other one when we became aware that we were no longer in compliance for more children than that. So that is our intent at this time, is to continue that daycare in operation just as it has been, but being able to do it with the children, more children than the 12, because that's a very expensive property for someone to rent, and in order to pay those kind of rental prices, because it does include that 5-bedroom house, you know, it has to pay them to have that business there, and with 12 or under children, that will not do it. So this was our primary reason for wanting to get this rezoned at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this item? Ordinance 2013-02. Anyone else? Seeing no one come forward, Mayor, I'll declare the public hearing for this item closed. Turn it back over to you.
Okay. We will now close the public hearing, and do we have citizens forum?
Have one,
We
yeah.
do have a citizens forum starting at 6:45.
Everything over the same name? I got to tell you my name, address, all that jazz again? Oh, okay. My only concern is, as I was just discussing over there, was as long as it's a daycare and it's in writing and it stays as a daycare and doesn't turn into a convenience store or anything to that aspect, I'm fine with it being a daycare. As long as it's a daycare, I have no worries. It's just, unless it's in writing, I don't know how you guys do the government stuff, that it's an actual daycare, no more, no less. You know, I won't have a problem. I don't need to go get petitions from all the neighbors. I have no beef with any of the problems, except I don't want it to see take a downturn as other streets have from rezoning things and things happening. So that's my only concern. If I can talk with whomever need to be to work out some type of arrangement that it's a daycare, I'm totally fine with that.
And I'll be honest, this, as far as legal, he can tell you, once something's zoned like that, there's no way we can put it in writing that it would only be a daycare.
And that's my concern. So
And I understand that. However, that's what it's been for, what, 10 years?
Oh, no, I've lived there since '04.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had no problems, especially
Right.
the original couple, the very old couple that were probably 80 or something.
Right.
That's when I moved in there. But I don't have any problems with it being the daycare. Yeah, the traffic's a little more clustered in the morning. Other than that, it's not the problem. It's just I don't want it to turn into something else.
Right.
And
Mr. Applecard, it's already zoned right across the street, C3
Yeah, I know that
anyway. So that right there could very easily turn into a convenience store or something that would be allowable under that zoning. So that is a potential right now, and it has been for, I want to say
10 years.
May
Yeah,
have been 10 years.
It's been a while.
I have no problem with that either, because I know that takes a lot more capital, liquid cash, to invest in building something when they already have a building there, that all they got to do is convert it and put it into a convenience store.
And this is a question for, I guess, our city planner. Should, for whatever reason they sell, the daycare goes out, whatever goes in, does it have to come before the planning commission?
If it's considered a
Change
change
of
of
use.
use, then it would, and any kind of addition, alteration, changing of the footprint, it would have to come back before the planning commission.
And then that would be an advertised meeting, so it could not change without the neighbors being made aware of it changing.
But if they meet all criteria, it'd be hard to keep them out if they meet all restrictions.
Well, I mean, if they met all the restrictions of the C3 district, and that does have it's a very limited list of types of land use activities that could go in there. Assuming that they met all of the requirements and that it fit with the neighborhood, it should be permitted. So, but again, that's assuming that it falls into the very limited list of what is allowed in C3. So,
Do you have a copy of
Yes,
what is?
ma'am.
Okay.
Well, I have
Sure.
I have a printed one. It said on the printed one that this might not be the latest version.
Okay.
But I'm assuming it is. I mean, I haven't went and cross-referenced that, yeah.
If you could make sure that he has, make sure it's the current
it is
ordinance.
actually.
Okay.
I did send you the most.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. When we send out letters, we do put that disclaimer in there because the
I leave
entire
it.
document is probably not necessarily up to date, but this list of just the C3 uses is current. So.
Yeah, so basically what I'm hearing is if the zoning is passed, if then the daycare becomes a non-money making aspect, they will then then they have to come back in and rezone, or not rezone, but
Not
I guess through the
rezone.
planning committee
Right.
to make sure it fits the details you
Yes.
just pointed out.
Yes.
Okay. And what's the lag time of notices? Because I didn't come to the first meeting because I just didn't know about it. And so if it ever happens to where they have to do the planning committee vote, is there like a 2-week or 1 week, or how many votes is there?
It's,
We usually post the agenda 3 weeks in advance.
and this
I'd
goes on our
say.
website. You can always check our website. All the meetings are on there.
But no sign go up.
No. Not on rezoning. The signs will not go up.
So I have to do my due diligence to make sure I keep up with what's going on. Okay, well, that was my only complaint. You know, like anyone else wouldn't want a convenience store moving in
Absolutely.
next to your house. Daycare, I know there's nobody really worry about that too much, but a convenience store would be a challenge.
And we understand. Thank you.
All right, thank you,
for
guys.
coming in. All right. We have no one. The meeting will begin sharply at 7 o'clock. It is now 7 o'clock, and we will now begin the regular meeting for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, February 5th, 2013, and I love seeing this room full. We have several celebrities with us tonight. We will get to those. You guys up front don't count. We will be getting to y'all in just a moment. At this time, I would ask Alderman Waldron if he would start us in a prayer.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for your mercy and grace. Thank you for the men and women that's keeping our country safe here and around the world. Thank you, oh great God, for giving your Son Jesus. Give this board wisdom to make the right decisions for the citizens of this great city. Our prayers and thoughts go out to the Pomeroy, the Breyer, and the Ayers family in their time of need for their loss. And please be with Mr. Richardson as he recovers. In Jesus' name, amen.
Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I hope everyone had an opportunity to read over the minutes. And now I'd like to entertain a motion to approve or to deny those minutes. And this is for the January 8, 2013 public hearing and regular meeting.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Department reports. Fire Department.
Mayor, Alderman,
The month of January 2013, we had a total of 84 calls. It consisted of 3 structure fires, 9 fire alarms, 4 vehicle fires, 2 grass fires, 6 hazardous materials calls, 24 motor vehicle accidents, 24 medical calls, 6 emergency miscellaneous, and 6 non-emergency miscellaneous. Average response time for the month of January 2013 was 3 minutes, and the total water consumption for the same month was 2,350 gallons.
Awesome.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Police Department?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, you have the reports there in front of you. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them, but if not, I'll save my time for Director Castor.
Any questions? Y'all had a good month.
We did have a good month.
Congratulations.
We had a really good month. And the last couple of weeks have been really good too. You all haven't seen or heard anything yet, but we did arrest this weekend a convicted child sex offender from Oklahoma that was here. He had narcotics, a weapon, committed 2 aggravated assaults with a weapon. We arrested both he and a female that was accompanying him. She just happened to be a DCS employee from the state of Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's looking at him as a suspect on some other things that are going on, but we were able to find him here and arrest him.
That is awesome. Congratulations to you and your team.
They're working hard.
Thank you. Rescue, Laverne Rescue. Welcome, Anthony.
Hi. Mayor, Alderman, Laverne Rescue responded in January of 2013 to 21 vehicle accidents, 7 which were out in the county, out on the interstate. 62 other calls. We had 1 business meeting, about a dozen PR meetings, 6 fundraising or maintenance. Total miles of 1,883 and total man hours of 1,250.6. Average response time during the month of January was 2.31 minutes. And if we could add, we do have a country ham breakfast coming up Saturday at 6 o'clock.
We'd like to welcome Anthony and his wife Megan, who will be having a youngster here in about 5 weeks, she said. I'm trying to talk them into March 22nd, but she said no.
Yeah, anytime anybody asks me that, they say, when's the baby due? My answer is always 20 minutes. So, yeah, that's my general answer. But we'll see.
Thank y'all for being here.
All right. We thank you, Connie. Thanks.
Bye. Codes Department. I saw Randolph. There he is.
The monthly report for January is building permits. Single-family dwellings, there were 7, 4 commercial, 11 miscellaneous, 4 sign permits, 2 garages and sheds. We did 4 commercial plan review that month for a total of 28 permits. Plumbing permits, single-family dwellings were 7, commercial there were 4, single-family dwelling mechanical permits were 7. Complaints called in were tall grass 0, junk cars in the yard were 1, trash in the yard was 6, other were 24, and there's a new cell on here that I've added this month for January. It's the fire inspections that we're now currently doing throughout the community. We were able to do 37 fire inspections last month. The total number of single-family permits issued year-to-date is 7. This time last year was 2. Our monthly revenue with impact fees was $21,226.48.
Very good.
Any questions?
The fire inspections, they strictly for commercial and industrial.
Commercial and industrial only.
Residential don't have to worry about it.
No, sir. We're trying to catch the high traffic areas first, things that we've had issues with going forward. Trying to work them methodically so that we don't overlook someone. Trying to get up and down Murfreesboro Road, a lot of the industrial area.
The homes that does the in-home daycare, do they qualify or not?
They'll be looked at by the state. We will do them as well, just in the simple fact that we want to make sure that they maintain their egress requirements, that they've got fire extinguishers.
But only the ones that's got the business license?
Right, the ones that we know of, yes, sir.
Okay.
Anything else? Thank you.
Parks and Recreation.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. Numbers for January are in front of you. Nothing really jumping out. We're kind of in our transition, getting ready for spring. I will note there the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee meeting is February the 21st at 4 o'clock. The Parks and Rec Advisory Committee meeting is February 18th at 6. And I'm excited that the Greenway Advisory Committee meeting, we've got some information back from Weiser. We're finally, after 13 years, moving forward on this Greenway. So there'll be some dates forthcoming of community meetings and whatnot, probably in March. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the Groundhog Day celebration on Saturday because of the weather. But we do have our Daddy-Daughter dance is coming up this Saturday from 2 to 4 o'clock at the Multipurpose Building. Tickets for that are $5 just to cover cost, and mostly just to get a head count of who all's coming. And then lastly, the Laverne Baseball Softball Association is doing their sign-ups now, and they're also looking for sponsorship. So if you're a small business or a community-based group that wants to sponsor a team or any kind of sponsorship in kind for LBSA, just get on the website and contact Mike Catanese. But if there are no questions, thank you.
Thank you. Finance.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Alderman, Vice Mayor. Tonight's financial report represents the first 6 months of our fiscal year ending in December. For the general fund, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $411,000. For our local sales tax, we've collected approximately $2,008,000. That's approximately $308,000 better than what we budgeted for this time of the year, and approximately $240,000 better than what we had collected at this point last year. For the State Street Aid Fund, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $325,000. For the Stormwater Fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by approximately $197,000. And for our Water Sewer Fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by approximately $1.1 million. On the second page represents our balances in our various bank accounts. And then on the third page represents a comparison to prior year. For the general fund, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $246,000 when compared to this time last year. And in the water sewer fund, revenues have exceeded expenses by approximately $415,000 as compared to this time last year. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Library.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Aldermen. Many of you are probably aware that we're in the midst of the 150th anniversary of the Civil War, the sesquicentennial. I won't say that 5 times fast. So the library is marking the event from Saturday, February the 16th through Saturday the 23rd with several special events. On the 16th, we'll have a presentation about Laverne's roles in the events leading up to the Battle of Stones River, as well as a display of Civil War artifacts found in the city, some of them right on the site where the library has been built, and that will be presented by our own police officer, Mark Sloan. So thanks to him for participating. On the same day, we'll have a presentation about Mary Kate Patterson, who was a Confederate spy who lived right here in Laverne. On Tuesday the 19th at 6 p.m., we'll show 2 documentaries about the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry, the soldiers that the film Glory was based on. And if you haven't seen that, we have it at the library available to check out in DVD format. It'll make you cry. Have a box of tissues handy. And we'll discuss the ways in which African Americans made contributions to the war. On Thursday the 21st at 3 p.m., we'll have a genealogy program which will teach participants how to track down their ancestors who fought on either side in the Civil War. Then on Saturday the 23rd, we'll have a representative from the Sam Davis home to present a children's program at 11 a.m. And then at 1:30, a park ranger from the Stones River National Battlefield will talk about the Battle of Stones River. At 3 p.m., we'll have a presentation about what life was like for an average woman during the time of the Civil War. Somebody in costume talking about daily activities and things related to women. So a busy week at the library from the 16th to the 23rd. We hope to see many of you there. The other major event coming up is this year's American Girl Tea Party. It'll be Caroline's Ocean Dream Tea Party, and that's set during the War of 1812. Tickets will be available beginning on Monday, February 11th, and I'll talk more about that next month. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that we are doing another practice ACT at the library for free. That'll be on Saturday, March 23rd, from 9 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. Are there any questions for me?
Sorry, Teresa.
That's okay.
Any questions?
The February 16th
Yes,
Civil
sir.
War thing, it's at the library.
Yes.
Good deal. What time?
Well, it depends on what you're interested in. We'll start, let's see, at 1 o'clock on the 16th. And we'll have another program at 2 o'clock, and then one at 2:30.
Thank you.
Thank you. Water treatment, there's Thomas.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. We have our monthly summary for the month of December of this year comparatively to 2011. Our water brought in is like considerably less usage-wise, containing some leaks, maybe population like vacancy in homes. It's all attributed. All of our testing parameters were well inside normal limits. Our chemical usage was adjusted pretty much from the different flows. Our maintenance for the month was $1,280.59. Which leaves our balance for last month, which is this month for our maintenance year. Our quality calls were very slim this last month, only 3. The one note item is our membrane unit had a really good month. We reproduced, I guess you could call it a reclaim, 6 million gallons of water, which saved the 10,600 from going to Metro for disposal, plus put that water back in to the system for resale. So I think that's a good accomplishment on that unit. I think that's our highest month since it's been in active operation. But that's about all I have.
Any questions? Thank you, Thomas. Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor and Alderman. Dennis. This is for the month of January. We had a total of 344 chipper pickups, hauled like 19 loads to Murfreesboro, and that's with our new clam truck that we bought last year. We're getting going with it. 264 workhouse hours, miscellaneous, worked on some, we're trying to go around, collect all the stop signs, street signs that's faded out and replacing them during the winter months. Had a total of 133 work hours with 35 total overtime hours, and some of that being on call. You know, our special projects for the months, we took down the Christmas lights and stored them for the winter months. Fleet, I hadn't got an accurate on it. You know, we put on several sets of brakes. We do have a new mechanic, Kelly Adams, that started a week ago. He's through his first week, and he's doing pretty good at it. Brings a lot of knowledge with him. You know, put in some brakes, and you know, we've got 2 major issues at Gary Matthews Dodge dealer on 2 of the patrol cars that we should be getting back. But that's all I've got. Any questions? I'll get that tomorrow.
We had a lot of compliments on how well our roads.
Well, I appreciate that, and you know, with Doug and all the team that I had out there at the short notice that we had.
I actually had people calling me, going, "Thank you."
I woke up
for
at
the
10 after
roads.
7, and it was there.
So.
And by 7:30, we were going.
It come up quick. I left home about 6, and within 15 minutes, it was there.
Any more questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you. Utilities?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, be real quick here. Things are going real well in utilities. We raised some manholes that were buried. Water department, we located another major water leak. We stopped about a 4 million gallon a month water leak coming out of our system. So our overtime is way down, and things are rolling well, I hope.
Thank you, Jerry. Human Resources.
Good evening. Thank you, Rick. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and distinguished aldermen. I just wanted this distinguished group to know that since I didn't start doing monthly reports until late 2011, I still have 4 hours and 44 minutes, so I've got my timer set, and I've got enough to cover, so thank you very much. We got to liven it up. We had a slow month as far as postings. We had 4 postings and about 110 folks that expressed an interest in employment with the city through our electronic application process. We had 1 internal posting and 45 external postings. Nothing new on the litigation front. We continue to manage that activity, and the city has continued to do better and manage things better. We had, as far as employee care, we have about half of the employees and their dependents that are now enrolled in the Care Here Clinic. We had a great month as far as the number of lives covered, about 299 dependent lives and about 163 employee lives through the city's insurance program. Our claims for the first month of the year were right at $187,000. That's $108,000 improved over claims for the same year this time. We not on this agenda, but we'll be discussing some important things at next month, including a new city handbook. So I wanted to get that in. And I reserve the right to keep my other 4 hours and 38 minutes for the next time.
We hear you, Fred. Thank you. All right. Now to the part we've all been waiting for. We're going to start with our Employee of the Month. Each month, the group of directors on Monday mornings, they sit back and they talk about employees that they think of, which all of them have great stories, so it's really, really hard. And we choose an Employee of the Month. This gentleman that we're going to introduce to you tonight has not been with us very long, but he's a lifelong family person here in Laverne. Comes in, every time you see this man, he's always smiling. What can I do to help? I love this city. I love my job. He loves everybody, and when you leave from being around him, you feel so good. And he's the type of people that we have working in this city, and he treats everybody with respect, whether it's citizens, employees, it doesn't matter who you are. When you leave from talking to this man, you feel good about him and yourself. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our Employee of the Month, Mr. Dennis Blair. City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to Dennis Blair for your dedication and hard work for the City of Laverne. The city hereby recognizes you as the Employee of the Month on February 2013 and thanks you for the excellent work you do for the City of Laverne. Given this day, 5th day of February 2013. We sure do. We're glad you're here. All right. Chief, I believe you're next. Over out of your way.
I'm going to ask Ricky to come up if he would, since he's our emergency services coordinator, because this applies to all of us, to be honest with you. Several months ago, I began something called the Chief Citizen Service Award to people who are citizens of the community, who are not a part of the police department, who do things to help the community as far as safety is concerned and stepping up. And we got to recognize 2 of the young students at Laverne High School for picking up a little boy that was 5 years old and taking care of him and getting him to a safe place at Station 3. But there's someone else in our community who does things every day for us that most of you probably don't even know about. But there's a fellow by the name of Richard Long in the audience. Richard, would you come up, please? Richard. Richard is a member of Box 100. Everything he does is totally volunteer. He doesn't get paid a penny for anything. But he and a friend of his called Hal keeps a very close watch on us and the weather. And everything that you see, things on Code Red that come out, Richard's got it before Code Red. He starts days ahead of time and watches the patterns and has spent a lot of his own money for training and equipment, etc. And he stays up day and night. But I'm presenting Richard tonight a Citizen Service Award for this reason. Whenever severe weather is approaching Laverne, we usually hear about it from you before hearing from any other group, organization, or person. You provide updates leading up to the event and continue until you can provide us an all-clear message. Frequent updates are provided by you to all Laverne Emergency Services agencies by radio, and you also send automatic messages, watches, and warnings from HAL. HAL is his automated system that he has there, his computer, his virtual assistant. Yeah. Your blog and by email. Throughout each and every event, whether you are on vacation, out of town for your job, or even at work. We won't tell anybody that. You continuously watch over the citizens of Laverne. There's no doubt that your volunteer efforts have reduced injuries and even deaths in Laverne. And for this, Richard, we say thank you, and I hereby present you the Citizens Service Award. There's another group of people that you all don't really know a lot about. You see them every now and then, maybe here and there, or you hear about a few things, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, a lot of training, a lot of study, a lot of hard in the cold, in the heat, training to prepare for things. But there's a group, when I say SWAT, you know what I'm talking about, I think. Most of you do. So LPD SWAT members, if you would come in, Lieutenant Sloan, if you would bring your group in. There's another group that I call CHANT. That's our Crisis, Hostage, and Negotiations team. Sergeant Mullen, would you bring your group in, please, sir? These are folks that have been trained to do negotiations for us, whether it's a crisis situation with someone threatening suicide or harm to someone else potentially, or a hostage situation to do the negotiations, etc. But there's one more group. Chief McCormick, the hazmat. Now, hazmat is a part of this whole big group in a lot of ways. Part of this group is part of hazmat. Where'd you go, Ricky? Where's your guys at?
Come on, go. Don't be shy.
Where'd they go?
Don't be shy.
Now, there's a reason that this whole huge group of people is up here. On many, many occasions, this group gets together. They train in their individual groups. But recently we had one particular Reserve Lieutenant John Boone. If you would join this group, you're a part of it, because this is the nicest and the best bad guy role player that you ever saw. He's always the bad guy. And I'm I'm going to simply read what it says. This is a Chief's Unit citation for SWAT, JAMP, and HAZMAT as one huge big group. Over the past several months, I've watched each of these units as they train for the worst incidents that could occur in Laverne, and have learned each of you are highly skilled and dedicated to your respective duties. Before events the past few months in other parts of our country, you were all training for incidents such as Aurora, Colorado, Newtown, Connecticut, and yes, even Midland City, Alabama. Your dedication to joint professional training and operations as you continuously prepare for the worst set you apart from most critical incident organizations. Now, I've got to tell you this. Laverne is unique in that we have, for example, our hazmat team is a multidisciplinary team. People from Laverne Fire Department, Laverne Police Department, Water Sewer, the utility departments are called now, and Public Works. That doesn't happen in most places. This group here has participated in 2 active shooter situations that were long before Newtown. They were planned and done. One of them was done, and the other was planned before Newtown happened. We had a situation with a hostage negotiation at the Civic Auditorium a couple of weeks ago. John was the bad guy. He was the hostage taker. He was also the active shooter at Laverne Lake Elementary. But these men and women work very hard for you, the citizens of Laverne, constantly. They're very qualified, I assure you. I've seen a lot of SWAT teams. I've seen a lot of crisis hostage negotiations and hazmat teams in my 37 years of law enforcement, and then even more than that with emergency services as a whole. And I tell you, they're good. They work really hard. They're good. You're very lucky to have them. We are, because I'm a resident too and have been for over 10 years. So I say, because of your efforts, Laverne is a much safer place to live, work, and be educated. And for this, I thank and recognize each and every one of you for what you do. We got one right now. And everybody will get, and every one of them will get a copy of it.
We all get to park in the same place?
Sure. Well, it's not the officer of the month.
Thank y'all so much. I'm proud of all of you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, JJ. All right. All right, now I'm sorry to uproot that group because they all are very, very special to us, and y'all know this. But tonight, guys, y'all are going to get uprooted by another very, very, very special group. Tonight, we have with us the Honorable Laverne Middle Boys Basketball Champions for 2012. And if you will allow me, we're going to call each of them up one by one so you can meet them. But we're going to start with our head coach, Mr. Thurman Tucker. His assistant coach, Mr. Robert Garner. Okay, sorry guys, y'all getting uprooted too. Because here comes the players. You have Captain Vincent Helms. That's my grandson. Next, we have Captain Malik Gray. And take note how well they're dressed and how nice they look. Next, we have Captain Bryce Williams. Rayshawn Ellison. Timothy Petway, and I apologize. Sean Ponder. Okay. Nahum Taffesy, am I saying that right? I apologize if I'm getting your names wrong. Jaden Porto. Keanthony Connor. DeMarcus Glenn. Jalen Rogers. Roger Chapman. Dante, am I saying that correctly? Dante Shaw. I apologize. Lamar Perez. And somebody's got to keep all these guys, straight. And that's their manager, Tyrone Weekly. Let me get up here. And y'all kind of bunch up there. They want a picture, and then I'll get out of the way. And each of you get one of these. I'm going to read this. City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation is hereby granted to the Laverne Middle School boys basketball team for winning the Rutherford County Middle School boys basketball 2012-13 tournament. The city hereby congratulates the entire team for their hard work, dedication, and desire while representing our community. Congratulations. Thank y'all so much. We got one more presentation. I'm hurrying. I know y'all have been in those ties long enough. Enjoy the limelight. Yeah, we wanted each of you to have your own. And Coach, there's you one. Thank you. Now we have another little special presentation. We would like to invite our city historian, Miss Margie Murphy, to come up. She has a little presentation for you as well. Miss Margie takes a lot of time, and in the last couple of years has really taken the effort and has made us history books. She keeps them, gives one to me, and then puts one in the library, and has kept up with every single event for the last 2 years. So these kids, when they get to be my age, 30's, tough age. Yeah, y'all laugh. But someday you'll realize, and you'll be showing your children or your grandchildren this. So it's very important, Miss Margie.
Okay, you thank you so much.
Thank you. And if you'll notice, she had them all to sign it. so.
Where you will have it in the genealogy room with the rest of the local history.
Genealogy room, so you are part of our, and 50 years from now, your children can look at
And you'll be surprised, it is very special, very special.
this. This is the book of everything that the city has done and the special events for 2012. And I mean, you guys have been busy. As you can see, and this is like copies of the items that I have prepared. And I thank the board and all of the people in our city for all the things that you do. And I ask the Lord that you will continue to guide you and be with you, and that you will pray for my family. And I thank you all so much.
Thank you very much. Everybody group in. Shoot, I'm gonna get right in the
Give her a hug.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh.
See, I can't see.
Here we go.
Okay, who's playing with my leg? Thank you all so much. I'm so proud of all of you. And you come by here anytime, okay? Thank you. Thank y'all for all you've done. We're so proud. So proud of you. Next time y'all let us know. So, hey, I'm a great cheerleader. I got a big mouth. I can yell good. Okay? Thank you. Give them one more hand. Thank you, Charlie, so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, it's hot in here. All right, sorry guys, we got to get down to business now. The fun stuff was over. Down to old business. Second reading, ordinance 2013-01. An ordinance to amend the 2012-2013 fiscal year general fund budget for the vehicle lease payment and for the purchase of the SCBA equipment.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. We will do a roll call. Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Waldron? Vice Mayor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Number 5, second reading, ordinance 2013-02, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 6J, Group E, parcels 81 and 82, located at 509 Lake Forest Drive, consisting of 1.0 acres from an R2S medium-density residential grandfathered zoning district to a C3 neighborhood service zoning district.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. We will do a roll call. Alderman Broker?
Aye.
Alderman Waldron?
Aye.
Vice Mayor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Next, we have our consent agenda items. We went over these thoroughly at the workshop. Do I have a motion to approve or to deny the consent agenda items?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have 2 seconds. So.
Give it to
All
him.
right, we'll do a roll call. Vice Mayor?
Aye.
Alderman Waldron?
Aye.
Alderman Broker?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. All right, number 7 is our boards. We do have the Laverne Housing Authority. The term for Mr. Jim Hewitt expired on November the 30th. At this time, we will recommend that Mr. Hewitt be removed. We've tried to contact him to no avail. And we'll continue to advertise this on Channel 3 and have it back on next month's agenda. For the Historical Preservation Advisory Committee.
Mayor, we need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion to take Jim off.
Okay, I have a motion taken,
Second.
and I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the term for Tyler Mann, which expired December the 31st. They have tried multiple times to contact him to see if he wishes to remain on this board. They've not been able to contact him. So at this time, we recommend that Mr. Mann be removed from this committee. Do I have a motion to remove Mr. Mann?
I'll make the motion to remove him.
Okay, I have a motion to remove.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we'll continue to advertise that one as well. The term for Mr. Robert Carver expires today. He did contact us and told us that he would like to remain on the Board of Zoning Appeals. So at this time, I do recommend Robert Carver to remain on the Board of Zoning Appeals. Do I need a vote for that one? Okay, so do I have a motion for Mr. Carver?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have our Construction Board of Adjustment and Appeals. The term for Mr. Rick Duffy and Douglas Stanfield expired today. And I do believe that both Mr. Duffy and Mr. Stanfield do wish to remain on this board. Do I have a motion to approve or to deny?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have two terms on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. The terms for Leanne Crawley and Deborah Edwards expire today. Ms. Crawley stated that she would not be returning, but Ms. Edwards would like to remain on that board. We've been advertising on Channel 3, and we do have several applications. And at this time, I know Deborah Edwards. We will be keeping Ms. Edwards on that board. And we have Deborah Balthrop, Brandy Jackson, and Ken Cowan.
I'd like to make a motion for Ms. Deborah Balthorpe.
Second.
Deborah Balthrop and Deborah Edwards.
And Deborah Edwards.
Okay.
Yeah,
Second.
turn.
And I have a second. For Deborah Edwards and Deborah Balthrop. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is the Greenway Advisory Committee. Alderman Broker and Jeff Marler have requested that Lisa Dice be removed from the Greenway Advisory Committee.
I'll make a motion to remove.
We have a motion to remove. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we'll begin advertising. And this is going to be a very important committee because we're getting ready to start another big Greenway project. So this will be they'll be meeting quite regularly when we get this Greenway started. All right, moving right along. Did I forget anything? No. Number 8, motion to approve Amendment 1 to the Professional Services Agreement with Weiser & Company for the Fergus Road Sidewalk Project.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. I will open this up. Does anyone have any questions regarding this? Hal is here with us tonight. Be happy to answer any questions that we may have.
Kyle, there was discussion in the workshop. I couldn't remember what all the discussion was. It was something about some kind of money.
More of the discussion was with the next item. As far as this item, it was just to amend the contract with Weiser to give them for their additional fee due to the contract contract time being exceeded by the contractor. So that's what this portion's for. Then I can probably tell you a little bit more about the next one.
Okay,
Next item.
Okay, we'll do that, yeah, fine.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve, and I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 9, motion to approve final change order for the Fergus Road Sidewalk project. Kyle, I'll let you.
Mayor and Alderman, this, did speak with Evan on this, met with the Evan Monday with representatives from Weiser. And basically what we've got in front of you is a change order that Sessions Pavement did sign and agree to. So we do have final pay application from them that states the same quantities and everything's in order. So I believe we need to vote, and I think Evan would agree, probably need to vote with what's in front of you and take it for what it says. You know, with them signing it, they should be agreeing to it. Now, I do want to make you aware that we do have from Sessions Pavers another letter that's just requesting to look at the quantities again. But at this point, they've not asked for any action on that or anything other than just they want to review the quantities with Weiser again, and Weiser has reviewed those quantities with them and said that now they still stand by what the quantities that are in the final change order and also the final pay application. So that's kind of where we're at right now with it. So I think at this time we probably just need to vote on this change order as is, and then if anything comes of the letter or the request, and then we'll send those to Evan.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
As is.
As it is.
I have a motion to approve as is. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 10, motion to approve Amendment 1 to the Professional Services Agreement with Louse and Associates, Inc. for the Safe Routes to School project.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 11, motion to approve agreement with Paradise Amusements, Inc. to provide the carnival for the Old Timers Festival.
Mayor, if you don't mind, I would request the board defer this to next month.
Okay.
It's not a complicated thing, but there's some minor changes I'd like to make.
Okay.
Motion to defer.
I have a motion to defer. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor of deferral?
Aye.
Aye. We'll put that back on if you're ready.
Yes, yes.
All right. Number 12.
Can I just go back for a second? Jeff, speaking with them, are they okay with that? I mean, I know because we don't want to lose them at this late point. As far as
I haven't spoken to them.
Okay.
I can have an answer for you tomorrow. I'll send an email.
Otherwise, again, we don't want to get down to the wire again and not have
right.
So I'll let you know.
All right, number 12, motion to approve purchase of used truck for the water billing department.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a
Second.
second? I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're down to the mayor and alderman comments. Vice Mayor, we'll start with you.
I got nothing.
Got nothing? Alderman Waldron?
Just want to remind people about the Country Ham Bradford Saturday, and keep Bruce's father, Mr. Richards, in our prayers. Out here he's recovering nicely, and glad the groundhog did not see his shadow, because I'm ready for spring, and that's it.
No, good. Thank you.
All right, for all you daddies and daughters out there, remember our daddy-daughter dance, which is Saturday from 2 to 4 at the multipurpose. So that's a lot of fun to be had there. And daddies, also, if you've got 2, 3, 4 girls, 1 ticket covers you. So that's right, you can bring all your girls. That's right, that's a bargain. That's a bargain dance. Hope everybody stays safe. Hope our snow is over. If not, Garland's got us covered. He and his crew, he and Doug's got us covered. So thank everyone for your time, and I call this meeting adjourned.